3, 2. Harap sa akin, pero
6 years ago, the organizers of the Dakar chose to leave Africa and to organize the rally raid in South America instead. But a team of Africa lovers decide that the continent is too beautiful to be left behind. Hubert Auriol, René Medj and Jean-Louis Schlesser are all captivated by the African desert. Together, they dream up and organize the first edition of the Africa Race. After some difficult beginnings, the competition has now earned the recognition and respect of all rally raid enthusiasts. The Africa Race remains much smaller than the Dakar, and that's also one of its most attractive features. This is a human-sized event where friendship and passion remain at the heart of the competition's values. In this film, we'll tell you everything you want to know about the 6th edition of the real race. Once again, the competition kicks off in Saint-Cyprien in the south of France for a day of essential technical and administrative checks. Some haven't touched their steering wheel for about a year, but for others, the Africa Race is the high point of the season after several other shorter rally raids. But one thing is certain, all competitors have come with one goal, reaching Dakar and the shores of Lake Rose on 11th of January. On the port of Saint-Cyprien, the public has come in great numbers to cheer on the favorite drivers.
Kazakhstan, welcome.
Among the stars of this preview are Jean-Louis Schlesser and his blue buggy. Schlesser is taking part in the Africa Eco Race for the last time. He's determined to win the competition once more after 5 victories in a row. Cyril Esquirol has left the co-driver's seat. This year, Schlesser is competing with another former motorbike rider, Thierry Magnaldi. I replaced one bike rider for another. You know, Thierry is very talented as a driver. And maybe I could pass the baton on to him next year. That would be great news. The motorbike's title holder is Martin Fontyn. He is back in the game with his lucky number on his back and eager to at least step on the podium in Dakar. The great favorite on 2 wheels is Michael Pisano, who's taking part in the Africa Race for the first time. The trucks are also present in Saint-Cyprien and ready for an impressive battle. All the drivers want to beat Tomasz Tomeczek, who is eyeing a 3rd Africa Race victory with his orange Tatra. But before reaching Dakar, we'll have to cross the Mediterranean towards North and West Africa. René Medj tells us more about the long journey ahead.
On descend sur le sud du Maroc.
We'll drive down into the Moroccan south in 5 stages.
Journée de repos à Darla,
Then we'll spend a day to relax in Dakhla. It's a beautiful place on the Atlantic coast, where we can even have a swim. And then we'll tackle the main course of the rally. 5 stages in Mauritania before reaching Senegal in one more day. This route looks familiar, but René has once again made sure to include some brand new tracks. The competitors will discover impressive locations that they've never seen before in Morocco and Mauritania. Overall, they have to cover 5,500 kilometers in 11 stages. But for now, the competitors are still in Saint-Cyprien for the official launch of the competition on the port, a friendly mingle with the crowds before tackling the African tracks. After a long trip to the south of Spain, the whole caravan boards on the ferry boat from Motril for one short night at sea before reaching the Moroccan coast. This was like a night in a 5-star hotel. And now we're in Africa. Let's go. Nador, December 31st. We have finally reached Morocco and we're ready to start the race. One first pleasant surprise awaits the competitors as soon as they step off the boat. Everybody glides through the customs formalities at record speed, and a delicious Moroccan breakfast offered by the province's governor awaits the Africa race competitors. The first special stage is short. It allows all drivers to get into the swing of things. Comfortable on his home ground, Harit Gavari comes in 3rd position of this first stage on Yamaha. He earns his laurels as one of the race's favorites. Although this stage is only a foretaste of the competition, we can already spot a few of the most serious contenders against Pisano, the man to beat in the bags category. Pisano comes 2nd of the special stage, and French rider Norbert Dubois makes a strong statement. He wins the first special stage. What he lacks in regularity, he makes up for in experience, and he takes the lead of the Africa Eco Race. In Morocco, you have to be careful. Especially on the first day, we're already tired because we've only had a short night to rest on the boat. So you have to take it easy. In fact, it's important to stay alert during the whole week in Morocco, as some of the tracks can be extremely tricky. 2 days before the Africa race enters the stage, the 4 runners check the state of every track. But accidents can happen. Gavari knows the area very well, but even he is not immune to the desert's nasty tricks. In the 3rd stage, the Moroccan rider falls off his bike and reaches the finish line with both his bike and shoulder in a poor state. I did 140 kilometers like this, with my handlebar and my shoulder broken. But Harit is not discouraged. The day after, he's ready to keep going with a new handlebar and a painful shoulder. Throughout the competition and with the help of the Africa Race medics, he continues the race, determined to fulfill his dream and reach Dakar. The special stage between Fontyn and Assa has also been unforgiving for last year's winner. Belgian rider Martin Fontyn falls, injures his ribs, and decides to abandon the competition after 3 days.
My name is Julia Schrenk. I'm 24 years old and I'm from Austria, and this is my first rally.
Julia is the only female bike rider of this edition. She has won a national contest in Austria to take part in the Africa race. She is the rally queen.
There was a casting in Austria. They were searching for the rally queen, and the rally queen participated here at the Africa race. So for me, it was totally clear that I want to start and I want to win this competition. They were looking for a girl with a lot of qualities, different qualities, not only riding. We had to do interviews, and we had a lot of tests at the casting, and it was really difficult for us, and we didn't know what they want from us. So yeah, all in all, it was me that was picked, and I'm happy about that. And we were in Croatia for a road book training and in Tunisia for sand training, and that was my training for the rally. When I started motocrossing a few years ago, it was my I wanted to race, and I always trained to race, and I didn't know what kind of races I will compete in, and so yeah, it's a rally now.
Julia will fulfill her dream and reach Dakar after 2 intense weeks in the desert. Here's another Austrian competitor. Roberto Jotzbacher is also a rally raid newbie, but he's shown that he learns fast, very fast indeed. In the third special stage, he already sets the fastest stage time. Leaving in 6th position, he follows the others' tracks and he doesn't have to worry too much about the navigation. But he certainly manages to keep up with faster, more experienced riders, and even to beat them in the end. Another pleasant surprise awaits on the Moroccan tracks. Belgian rider Joris van Dijk is also taking part in his first Africa race, and he soon finds the right pace. Every day he sneaks into the top 5 without taking unnecessary risks. He can rely on a KTM 450 for speed on the fastest tracks of the Moroccan south, and he ends up in 4th position after the rally's first half, just behind the experienced Norbert Dubois. Also on KTM, Dominique Rovin delivers a perfect performance, and he even claims the fastest stage time on day 5 between As-Sakan and Dakhla. In Dakhla, he is satisfied with a well-deserved second place in the overall standing, a mere 7 minutes 23 behind the leader. Here is the leading man in the bikes category. As expected, Michael Pisano takes control of the race as soon as stage 3. His Honda 450 is not as fast or powerful as some of the bigger bikes that have an edge on the Moroccan tracks, but he nevertheless puts up a faultless performance while sparing his bike before the serious business begins in Mauritania.
I'm careful when I change gears,
In particular in the sand. You really have to think of everything. Here there is no way we could change the engine. So I'm really very careful. It's a good challenge for me. There are powerful bikes behind me, so winning against them would be even better. But the Africa race is much more than the competition leaders alone. Behind them, there's a whole group of brave drivers who do their best to reach Dakar. Here is the bike classification halfway through the rally. Miguel Pisano is in first position. In the cars category, just behind the champion Jean-Louis Schlesser, the game is open and many drivers are trying their luck.
480.
Two drivers stand out in the first kilometers. Jean-Antoine Savatier in his two-wheel drive buggy, and Hungarian driver Balázs Szalai on an Opel 4x4 prototype with a V8 engine. Szalai is not here to stay in the background, and he quickly shows what he's capable of. We did not expect Savatier at the very top. He and his co-driver are familiar with Morocco, but beating Schlesser in the very first stage is no mean feat. On the finish line, the leader of the Africa race's first stage is all smiles, but also realistic about what lies ahead. We do know the area quite well because we live in Marrakech. We will see if Schlesser catches up with us. We clearly have a good car and the experience of competing in 6 Dakars in the past. Meanwhile, Szalai comes in second position in 4 of the 5 Moroccan stages. On the third day, however, it's a disaster. He loses 1 hour 50 to Schlesser and also loses all hopes to be on the final podium. We started the day in very good shape. We started 7th, and then we managed to overtake nearly everybody until the end. I think we were in the leading position at the last control point. But after that, unfortunately, we had 2 punctures in a tight downward section. And yesterday we had some problems, so I try to be as cautious as I can. At the beginning of this edition, the two-wheel drive stand out. For example, Philippe Porcheron's buggy. After an experience in South America, Porcheron is back in the Africa race and determined to play a role on the front line. In the 2 first special stages, he lies in 4th position, but he will lower his ambitions later because of several mechanical problems. Another excellent buggy is that of Thuron-Barrère and Martineau. They keep a low profile at the beginning before setting the fastest stage time between Assa and Nassaken. It's an unexpected result in this long and difficult special stage, and it's also an impressive victory.
Au kilomètre 28, j'ai explosé une jante.
At kilometer 28, one of my wheel rims broke, and the brakes failed. I had to tinker with it, and I could only use the brakes on the other 3 wheels. So whenever I used the brakes, the car was going askew.
On a essayé de conduire le plus propre possible.
Here is the blue buggy of Jean-Louis Schlesser going at full speed on the Moroccan tracks. From the 2nd stage onwards, Schlesser and Magnaldi take the lead of the classification.